Have you ever imagined a job where people risk their lives every day, diving into the deep sea, facing sharks, treacherous currents, and sometimes even death? This is the life of pearl divers, an ancient and arduous tradition filled with legends in the Arabian Gulf. Before the discovery of oil, before the glittering skyscrapers, pearl divers were once the backbone of the economy in this region. So, what is their story? Let's turn back time and explore the adventurous and challenging lives of these extraordinary people. Pearl diving in the UAE. Thousands of years ago, when the coastal kingdoms of the Gulf had yet to discover oil, pearl diving emerged as the primary livelihood for the people. At its peak, natural pearls from the Arabian Gulf were considered the world's most treasured gems, sought after from Europe to Asia. Bahrain, Qatar, the UAE, and Oman. These waters had countless treasures within. But to claim them, pearl divers had to face the dangerous ocean without any modern tools. The initial pearl beds stretched along the Arabian coastline, from Kuwait down to Saudi Arabia, Bahrain, Qatar, the United Arab Emirates, and the Sultanate of Oman. They also extended along nearly the entire Persian Gulf coast, from near Bandar-e Bushehr, Karg Island, to Bandar-e Linja, Kish Island, in the south and further into the Strait of Hormuz. The Phoenicians, who likely held the first monopoly on pearl trading, were followed by the early Arab seafarers who embarked on long and arduous voyages aboard their simple sailing vessels, the dhow. The pearl diving season typically ran from April to September. Initially, shallow waters were targeted, while deeper waters were reserved for warmer seasons, rotated to ensure sustainability over the years. A key figure aboard the dhow was the Naham, a ceremonial singer whose prayers dictated the schedule of the day. The captain, known as Nokata, had absolute authority over the pearl divers, called Gai Gawaz. These early free divers were equipped with wooden nose clips, fitam, oil-soaked cotton for their ears, a basket, dajan, to hold their haul, and a knife to extract oysters from the seabed. They wore small leather caps, cabal, on their fingers and toes to protect against sharp corals, rough shells, and occasional encounters with venomous sea creatures. Historical evidence shows that a diver would descend using two ropes controlled by his assistant, the sabe, from the ship. Divers typically stayed underwater for 60 to 90 seconds, reaching depths of 6 to 20 meters. With up to 40 divers on each dhow, individuals often made 30 to 40 dives a day. A team of 30 divers could harvest up to 8,000 oysters in a single day. In certain parts of the Gulf, divers were taught to smear grease on their bodies to retain heat in the frigid waters. The most skilled divers could plunge as deep as 26 meters on a single breath, depths that undoubtedly put their lives at risk. While deep-sea diving was a daily activity, it was surrounded by numerous rituals. One of the most important was the ceremonial firing of a pistol to signal the discovery of a large pearl. Its sound could be heard far along the coast. The captain would gather all findings into a traditional red cloth, and after selling the first pearls, he would pay the divers in cash. However, unlucky Gai Gawaz often received only the smallest share, leaving most trapped in a cycle of poverty. Still, for men with few resources on land, wild pearls offered a vital opportunity to support their families. From the mid-18th century, pearls from the region were exported to India, Persia, and Turkey, and later to markets in Europe and China. The Gulf's pearl industry thrived as it integrated into the global market, attracting divers from Yemen, Socotra Island in the Indian Ocean, and Oman's Batna coast. By the mid-19th century, around 60,000 people, nearly the entire population of the Arabian side of the Gulf, were engaged in pearl diving. In less than 120 years, from 1790 to 1905, the value of pearls increased sixfold. Between 1830 and 1900, Gulf pearls generated significant global revenue, approximately $1.75 million annually. By the early 20th century, this figure had risen to $4 million. These jewels of the sea not only became one of Asia's most precious commodities, but also left behind a legacy of perseverance and courage, embodying the spirit of modern free divers. The decline of pearl diving. However, the golden era of pearl diving did not last forever. In the 1920s, cultured pearls from Japan emerged, offering a cheaper and more accessible alternative. Alongside this, the discovery of oil completely transformed the lives of Gulf inhabitants. Many divers abandoned their old trade and transitioned to new jobs in the burgeoning oil industry. The legacy today. Today, pearl diving is merely a memory, but it remains an inseparable part of the history and culture of the Arabian Gulf. In Bahrain and the UAE, you can still find museums and festivals that recreate the glorious past of pearl divers. The story of the pearl divers not only highlights humanity's resilience in conquering nature, but also serves as a reminder of a bygone era, one where hard work and courage were celebrated. Today, as we look back, we cherish these people, those pearls, and the magnificent heritage they left behind. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to support my channel. See you in the next video.